Okay, so I saw a challenge online. It was for a four-door race car. So I was going through all the cars I picked up. Most of these are from my nephews. They gave me like boxes or bins through full of cars that they no longer want. You know, they're older now, so they don't really want them. I got these old police cars or state troopers. Got this four-door truck, little four-door, looks like a Volvo of some sort. And then another Volvo, or I'm sorry, another four-door police vehicle, some sort of SUV. That one's not bad, actually. Might make a cool car. Here's another one, just a little state trooper police car made by Maisto. A cheap little car. Another Hummer. I like the Hummer. It looks really good. Wheels are all messed up. These cars are well used. These kids had a great time playing with them. So I was just trying to decide what I want to work with, and I was looking at this thing, this cab. I'm not even sure who makes this. I'd have to get my reading glasses on to see if I could see this. Might be a Maisto. I have no idea, but it's difficult to tell what it is. It's got a nice stance. It's just a little cab. It's a cheap car. I'm not sure who makes it. Then I have this weird piece of plastic. I don't know where it came from. I may have found it on the ground, but I figure I can cut a piece of this off, make a nice wing, you know, for the back. It looks like it may have had a wing at one time and it was removed. I'm not sure if I'll keep I definitely want to paint it, but we'll see how it turns out. Maybe I'll mask the taxi cab part off and then paint the rest, and we'll leave this nice little taxi logo on the top there, if you can see it. I don't know if it's coming out on the camera, but I think this is the one I'm going to work on out of all of these. So I'll move these aside, and I'm going to start messing around with this thing. So I just want to take this, maybe I'll scuff it up a little bit with some sandpaper and get it ready for some paint. But I do want to cover this up and make a nice little yellow, at least on the front here, I think. If I can cut like a piece of this and stick this on here, just to mask off that piece, I think that's what I'm going to do. Just on the front. I don't care about the rest. Here I'm just continuing to mask off that taxi sign. I just want to leave that on and keep it in place. I think it'll look cool once the car is done. You know, give it a little bit of color. You can see me just needling it with the knife there. Let's see if this will work. This little piece of plastic here. So I want the nice groove one up top. If you see, it's got a nice little texture here. Really hard to tell, but it's ridged. My dog chewed up one of our hairbrushes, so I have a few bits to use as tailpipes and whatever. Here's the car with the two pieces glued to it, the spoiler and the engine. And there's a close-up of the, I don't know what you'd call them, the bristles or whatever from the hairbrush. So I ended up cleaning the windows in soap and water. They had a lot of dirt on them. They're a little scuffed up, but it still works. So I just assembled this piece. When I remember to put the wheels in, it would help. So I'm just kind of measuring to see, or comparing the two, see which ones are bigger for the rear wheels, and then put the smaller wheels in front, obviously. Although it would make a fun build probably to put the larger wheels in front. I've seen some of the front wheel drive drag cars with the big slicks on the front, so it kind of makes some sense on some vehicles anyways. I use a little super glue to piece it together. Here I'm adding a little silver to the engine there. It's kind of hard to tell that there's actually silver there. And you can see the sign now that I removed the masking tape. Add a little black to the top of those velocity stacks. And black inside the tailpipes. I just want to break this color up, you know, because it's just primered gray. It's a lot of hot rods that you see on the track are, right, on the drag strip. When I was younger, that's all we could afford. All of our cars were primered, I think. the whole group of us. And you know, when you're a poor kid and you're racing what you have, you do what you have to get a cheap paint job. It's that or the nasty dull color that was on the vehicle before. So I'm just adding some black to, I don't know what you'd call that, like a ground effects kit or balance, and just breaking it up a bit, and just some cheap brush on paints as usual, little cheap craft paints from Walmart or Michaels. I had a little blue. Those are like, to me it looked like they were valve covers possibly sticking out of the hood, you know, from the motor, so I wanted to color them in, give them a little different color than just the silver. So I'm going to add some white to the headlights. I do a decent job on the front left, but the front right, or vice versa, I have a little mistake there. It's a little bit too much. Add a little yellow to what appears to be fog lamps. So I just want to add some details. So when you look around this vehicle, you know, I put a little effort into it. So I want to add the taillights, make them red, make some things pop on this otherwise dull colored car. So the spoiler I didn't think fit in. It's primer gray, although more than likely it probably would have been if they primered it after the car was primered. Depends on when a person would put their spoiler on, I suppose. So the cheap plastic wing is starting to take shape on the back of that thing. I want to do a mouth like those old airplanes, you know. I've seen this on a few cars as well. So I want to put that on the front of this. So I just kind of hand paint this little shape, the mouth shape. I thought about adding some red inside, and then I ended up not doing it, and I probably should have. So I start to use my brush to make some teeth in there, but my brush isn't pointed enough to make some decent teeth. So you can see I make a huge mistake, like, alright, start over. Color it black, I'll start over, and I'll get a toothpick and work on the finer details with one of those. So the toothpick seems to work pretty decently. I'm going in reshaping the white with a little bit of black because I put a little too much white in there. So I'm trying to straighten them out. Now I'll go in with a little white again. Just to kind of give me some decent shape on those teeth. It works. I think the end result's pretty decent. It's kind of a cool looking little Hot Wheel. You can see it together there. It's looking good. I didn't end up adding any clear coat. I just wanted to keep it like this. I had a little more silver on the top. I know it's hard to tell it's silver, but there is some silver there, and on the door handles. Line it with that gray, it really doesn't make much sense. Maybe I'll do a primered black one next time. But here's the final of the car, and the little engine coming out of the hood, and the paint. I think overall it turned out cool, and it was a fun little build. There was a challenge, a 4-door race car challenge or something, so I decided to make this. Here's some stills. But I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks, and please like and subscribe.